Chat, next video. This is a long one. I'm probably going to rant for a while. How to beat the super marathon in The Long Walk. Now, this is going to be a video about the movie The Long Walk. If you don't know the movie The Long Walk, it is top 5 movie of all time. It's not even close. Made me cry. I was panicking the entire time. It's not a horror movie, even though it's categorized as a horror movie. I would say it's a thriller drama, very sad and disgusting. The premise of The Long Walk, he's probably going to explain it in the video, but I'll give a little rundown. One guy from each state. So 50 people participating. They walk until there's one person left. If you go below, I think 3 miles an hour, you get a warning. If you get 3 warnings, you get shot in the head. You lose 1 warning every hour of no warnings. So if you get 3 warnings and you walk 3 hours straight without stopping, you get it wiped clean, right? And you walk until there's 1 person left. You have to poop while walking, eat while walking, drink water while walking. You can't sleep. So it's basically a fucking battle of attrition until there's 1 guy left. They also can't fuck with each other. You get warnings for hurting each other before people ask. And if you run off once you're in the walk, you can't leave. You're not allowed to quit. You're in or you're out. And if you're out, that means you're dead. So if they pull your name and you decide to go, right? This is optional, by the way. It's like a dystopian future. So they put their name in a raffle to go. And if they win, they get unseen riches. That's like the prize. The number's never disclosed, but imagine enough money to retire you and your family for the rest of your life and your family's generations. So I said in my head when I watched the movie, like $50 million is what they're getting. They're getting an absurd amount of money.
So imagine that you're so broke that your only choice was to sign up for the deadliest marathon in the world. It's just you, 49 other dudes, and a fat bag of cash if you reach the end. But guess what? Only 1 player gets to survive. And
what I hate is how casual they are with each other at the start of the movie. I also gotta say spoilers. This is spoilers. I'm going to probably ruin this film for you if you've never seen it. So, maybe if you want to watch the movie and not know what happens, I would leave, right? Otherwise, you could just watch it after. You're just probably going to know a lot of what happens.
anyone who stops gets smoked on live
Fucking hate that guy. Fucking hate that guy. I'll rant about him in a minute.
TV. But honestly, surviving this would be easy, and I've got the perfect strategy.
All right. Yeah, this fucking guy. Oh, it's going to be easy. It's going to be easy until you get the shits 70 hours in. Until you're 120 miles into walking and you have to fucking take a fat shit and you have 10 seconds to stop and poop. Otherwise, you're going to get a fucking bullet in your head. Okay.
To win the entire thing. So we're here to break
Yeah, oh my God.
down the mistakes.
Yeah, that kid's a bitch. I'm sorry. Spoiler, you have to be like 18 to participate. Most of the participants are between like 18 and 25 in the film. Nobody's really over like 26, 27, right? This kid, they claim, has snuck into it, and he's like 14. He gets a Charlie horse. He's like, It's like 10 miles in. 10 miles in? Yo, buddy, you should have never signed up. I feel like if you're signing up for the long walk, you gotta think in your head 200 miles. I'm walking from Los Angeles to San Francisco. I'm walking from Philadelphia to Boston. That's what in your head, you're going, I'm crossing states right now before I'm the one guy left. You have a Charlie horse 12 fucking miles in, buddy, eat a banana. Huh.
Made what you
First one dead. Ugh.
should do, and how to beat the endless march in
Chat, how far you think you could walk? Let's start out with that. You gotta walk until you physically can't anymore. Let's say there's no other people competing. That's gonna drive you a bit further, but how far could you walk before stopping? I think I get 100 miles. Gun to my head, I think I get 100 miles. Spoiler alert, it's way further than that in the movie. It's way further than that. What really gets you is like 2 days in. where you're exhausted and you need to fall asleep. So you're kind of like dozing off while you're moving.
The Long Walk. So it all starts with this guy, Ray, who's just won a spot in a low-budget version of The Hunger Games. Basically, he lives in an alternate timeline where the country is dead broke after getting slapped around in some kind of giant war. And now, every year, one dumbass from each state gets picked to compete in a non-stop walk-off.
One of the coolest things they do in the beginning is they go ID. Right at the door, they go ID, and he hands him the ID, and the guy waves him off, doesn't give the ID back. I mean, that's like a psychological warfare thing, right? You know, you have your ID, you hand him your ID, he just goes, you know, like that. He's saying you're dead, like you ain't gonna need it anymore. Like what the fuck?
Tree is dead broke after getting slapped around in some kind of giant.
Just keeps it.
And now every year, one dumbass from each state gets picked to compete in a non-stop walk-off, where only one player gets out alive. The winner gets unlimited V-Bucks and receives one wish. But as for everyone else, it's...
Oh my god, I love this guy. Hold up. I love this guy. Oh my god.
Back to the lobby as soon as they stop walking. Ray's arriving at the death game the only way that makes sense, by getting dropped off by his mom. She even packed him some cookies like he's going off to school, but it's probably the last time that they're ever going to see each other alive. When it's time to say their goodbyes, Mom tries acting like she's proud, but she starts ugly crying the moment that he tries to walk away, but it's too late to turn back, and after one last hug, he leaves to join the other 49 morons as they sit around waiting for it to start.
Yo, I gotta say too, this is not like me talking about his body or anything. They mention it in the film, and it's like, it's a part of the plot, but like, he's not making it, bro. These two are the main characters, and he's not making it. He's like 6'2", 220, you know? The guy that's going to win the long walk is probably 5'7", 120 pounds. Like, you got to be skinny, you know? Like not even muscular, skinny. Like, isn't this voluntary? Yeah, but that's part of the plot too, is like they sign up and they're like, it's voluntary, but like one of the lines in the movie, he says, I forget his name. He goes, I dare any of y'all to tell me a time any motherfucker didn't sign up. You know, it's voluntary, but everybody always signs up. Name a guy that never signed up, because it's like everybody's so broke that you would do anything to be rich.
All right, fam. Now, I know a lot of you guys have been wanting us to cover the long walk for a while, so of course I had to do it for my people. But I'm gonna be honest. I started out wondering, how in the am I gonna make an entire video about a bunch of dudes just walking down the street? But then it dawned on me, we can basically just wrap it up right here, because this is actually one of the easiest death games ever made, and I've got a plan to survive it without even trying. So here it is, my genius plan that's 100% guaranteed to work.
Okay, they all have their own backpacks of whatever. They get food rations and water rations, but they're allowed to pack whatever they want in their backpack, probably with some level of guidelines because there's a rule book. Yo, I'm packing fucking nicotine like crazy, bro. I'm filling that fucking bag with Zins. I'm so serious. I was actively thinking about this. I'm filling that bag with stimulants. Like, if I'm allowed to do that, I'm just fucking double decking. Like, you're 8 hours in meth. Yo, if I was allowed to bring meth, I'd bring fucking meth. First time, I'd be like, all right, I'm going to do crack. You know, I'm going to do fucking crack for like day 3. I'm falling asleep. Time to break out the pipe, you know? Fucking, at that point, you just got to stay alive. Something to keep you up. Adderall? Ooh, that'd be good, but then you won't eat. You need to eat.
To survive the long walk is to just never...
Yo, best way to survive the long walk? Get a catheter and a colostomy bag. Oh, you win. You win. You ain't got to piss or shit. It just does it. You just walk. Don't stop walking. That stimulants, colostomy bag, catheter. Boom. Catheter would probably pull a little bit at some point. 100 miles in, it's probably going to get chafed. Maybe not. Colostomy bag would work.
Walk is to just never sign up for this.
Yeah, walking 100 miles with a tube up your dick hole, I don't think that would work very well.
In the first place. Like, seriously, I can't believe how...
Is there a limit to how slow you can walk? Yes, that's the whole premise of the movie. You have to walk, I think, over 3 miles an hour.
How dumb.
They all have watches that track their movement, and they get like audible warnings. They'll go number 47, warning 1, number 47, warning 2, number 47, final warning, and then they shoot him.
You'd have to be to actually think this was a good idea. And I mean, it's not like the Hunger Games where you don't get a choice. Signing up was...
This is harder than the Hunger Games. I will stand on that. This isn't some low-budget horror games. This is harder than the Hunger Games. He's saying it's easy. Having to walk 300-plus miles to not die nonstop. You're not sleeping for days. You're shitting on the floor while you're walking. Bro, way harder than just fucking stabbing somebody with a spear. Are you insane? Watch the fucking movie. Oh my God, this is the fucking point. Literally, this guy, favor to win, minus 2,000 odds. Fucking jacked, built, fucking shredded to the gills, stoic, doesn't talk. He gets a small cold, day 2. Newsflash, your immune system never heals. If you get sick, you get a cut. Your body's never healing because you're never sleeping. You're never not moving. You're always moving. So if you get dude, a cough, death, kidney failure, lungs filling with liquid, you're dead. You know, because you're never gonna beat something small because you can't rest. You never have recovery.
Money, then you're severely underestimating my grind. Like, sure, times are tough, but if Peepaw survived the Great Depression, then I can get through whatever the hell's happening here. And I mean, these people all have cars and so how bad can it really be? So you can trust and believe that I'd be living in the sewers and surviving off a spare change before I ever got desperate enough to even try this because I'd rather be thugging it out in a cardboard box than getting capped on live TV. But okay, let's just say I was a real sicko who actually wanted to risk it for the biscuit. Well, in that case, I'd just be spending the first 18 years of my life training like a damn anime villain. I mean, forget learning to count.
Yo, actually, none of them ever talk about like, yeah, I prepared for this. They always show up with like a bag half full. Like, in the movie, the main character gets a tinfoil wrap of 4 oatmeal cookies. Yo, I feel like you would have to have a survival bag. You have to have some, bro, you'd be plotting that shit out months in advance, training every day of your life. I'm dropping out of school. I'm walking every day. I'm running some Kipchoge-ass fucking training montages, you know? I'm training like the fucking marathon runners are. They're really poor. Yo, your son's about to get shot in the head. You can't scrap up more than 4 oatmeal cookies? Are you fucking kidding me? They're really poor. She drives a car. It has gas in it. How much does an oatmeal cookie cost? Your son's walking till he dies.
I got one job and one job only. To become an absolute jacked monstrosity before my 18th birthday. I'm talking leg day every day. Nothing but squats, lunges, and lean protein until my body's legit shaped like a triangle. But it's not just about how you train, it's about the mental game as well. So hear me out. I'm gonna go back and watch all the tapes.
Here's the problem, though, that I want to counter his point. He's saying I would be training from day 1 till I was 18 years old. But it's a lottery. There's millions of other people that are signing up. So why would you waste the first 18 to 22 years of your life training every day for the long walk and then never get pulled? You know, like you might just not get picked and then you just don't do it. So
to read me the rules until I have all the best strategies and the legs of Saquon Barkley. And then I'll be ready to smoke these other losers and go home with the baggie. Now, on his way past the guards, Ray makes friends with this dude Pete, who's got a big Joker scar all the way up his right cheek.
Best character in any movie.
It's not like this is a beauty contest, but if it was, there's one guy who looks like he'd win either way, and his name is Stebbins, and he's clearly the most athletic one in the group, so he's got the more gamer-bodied dudes shook before the walk even starts. Then we've got Hank, the nerd with the big mouth, Art, the nice religious guy who's basically the polar opposite of this clown, and this Malcolm in the Middle looking dude.
Nah, this is making me sad right now watching all these characters. Don't care about this kid. They try to get you to be emotionally, you know, like all these other guys go through so much more shit, bro. He dies in like 20 minutes. Like he dies like right after this shit starts. I'm sorry for spoiling it. This motherfucker gets capped so quick. He fucking gets he gets a Charlie horse like 10 miles, like half a mile in. Like, it's like fucking instantly, this kid dies.
Named Curly, who's definitely gonna make it past the first day. The others start ripping on Hank for talking
I don't even think he makes it to the first night.
too much, but then they realize that he's pretty normal compared to this weirdo Barkovich, who tries to join in. He's giving off major...
Ooh, no, Bart. To put it in perspective, Barkovich is just dry humor making jokes that don't make sense. And it's so bad. Right? One of them says, like, my meemaw, and he goes, what the fuck is a meemaw? Sounds like... And then he makes a joke. But it's so fucking stupid because they're all from different states, so they don't understand each other's lingo, and they're making niche jokes about each other's lingo. And so every joke Barkovich makes just doesn't land because it's like a dude from Alaska making a niche Alaskan joke to a dude from Tennessee. Like, it doesn't hit.
And he's here to hand out everybody's number. After going through the whole list one at a time, he tells them all to line up and get ready to start walking. But first, it's time for a whole motivational speech about bravery and serving your country. When he's finally done yapping, he decides to remind them all about the most important rules. First off, you gotta keep walking at least 3 miles per hour until there's only one player left. You get 3 warnings if you fall behind, and they each reset after 1 hour of walking. But if you use up all 3 or try to make a run for it, then your goose is cooked, my man. That's basically it though, so now that they all know the rules, it's officially time to get to steppin'. But my dude Ray is about to realize that he just made his biggest mistake. So far they're just walking, which is pretty much all they're gonna be doing for the next hour and a half, so buckle up. It's probably a little hard to concentrate when they're surrounded by machine guns, but Ray's
Bro, but they all get to know each other. That's another thing he's not mentioning is they're all like low-key become friends. Not all of them, but like they start forming like small groups. And it's like, why? You're going into this knowing that one of you is coming out. I'm like, I don't even want to talk to anyone. I feel like I'd be like just stoic, zoned. But then you think about it, it's like day 3, you kind of need people to talk to more, like for your morale.
Trying hard not to think about it, so he keeps looking at the butterflies instead. Oh, and the whole thing...
Why is it all guys? It's only guys that get picked.
Being broadcast live for the fans.
Are you trying to get me to say that if a woman was picked that she wouldn't make it?
Back at home, so they've basically got the entire country waiting to watch them get blasted on live TV. Alright, so now's when we gotta start talking strategy, and you're probably thinking, what could you even do besides just keep walking and try not to get shot? But guess what? You're already beat, my boy, so better luck next time because real ones know the plan started before we even got here. Now, just like a night at...
Real ones know that I shoved a fucking dime bag of meth up my ass. And it's slowly making its way back down. Probably estimated arrival time around 2 p.m. EST the next day. After that, I'm going to snort a little bit of it, and that's going to be a little pick-me-up for the next 3 days.
The club or a date at a fancy restaurant, you're gonna need the right pair of shoes. So you might be thinking,
oh my God, that's the one thing that I'm thinking about is getting blisters. Oh, fuck no. You get a blister like 5 miles in, dude, some of these guys show up in some like raggedy shoes. Like some shit that's like run down. They've been wearing them for like 6 years. You need some broken in new shoes, but not something that's stiff.
All right, I'll just get a fresh pair of sneakers and be fine. But that's where you're wrong. Because sneakers...
Like this dumbass is wearing Vans! Oh!
Shoes. So you might...
Yo, literally stare at his shoes. You can tell he's cooked from the start. He wearing flat Vans. Flat Vans. This guy's got rain boots on and a safari hat. Huh?
But that's where you're wrong.
What are we gonna go pick flowers? Yo, buddy, you're walking for the next 8 years.
Wrong. Because sneakers are gonna give you blisters after the...
They have no money. Yo, you're getting the money. Your entire family's giving you everything they have for this.
The first couple of miles. So for me, I'm getting a pair of...
Oh, you got a Charlie horse.
Lightweight hiking boots, like the type you'd see some granola dude wearing on a nature trail. Yeah, I'd want something durable that's gonna last for literally hundreds of miles, and I wouldn't be just taking those bad boys out the box either. Nah, I'm gonna make sure they're broken in before the...
I wouldn't wear shoes. Turtle, you're dying in 5 miles. Turtle, you're cooked. You're dead. You're not gonna wear shoes. You're gonna walk on asphalt. You're gonna walk on asphalt for days.
And if I start power walking too soon, then I'm gonna get tired way too early. But everybody has a watch that shows exactly how fast they're going. So if the only rule is that I can't go slower than 3 miles per hour, then I'm gonna just walk at 3.1 the entire time. See? Easy. And if I catch a warning,
It's too easy. It's too easy to say that. You can't hover at 3.1 because your body's not going to be able to accurately regulate what 3.1 miles per hour is. There's going to be multiple moments where you hover down to 2.9, you get a warning. You probably want to hover around like 3.3. Realistically, like, give yourself a little leeway.
then maybe I'll speed it up to 3.2 miles per hour. But as long as I'm clear, then it's slow and steady wins the race. But that's not the only reason I'm walking slow. I'm over here playing chess while these other dudes playing checkers. Because at the back of the group, the other guys are blocking the wind, which actually...
You're getting into the fucking aerodynamics, bro. You're getting into the fucking... What, like we're geese flying through the fucking wind right now? I don't think that that's playing a factor. I don't think that the aerodynamic I don't think air resistance, you're not getting Mario Kart Slipstream walking behind this guy. You're not, I don't think that's going to be meaningful enough to matter at any moment.
makes it even easier for me to avoid getting tired. And the best part is, they won't
Unless it's actually windy outside.
even know that they're helping me, while I'm just sitting in the back chilling the whole time. And then, getting to the end of this should be quite easy. At 5 miles in, they notice that Stebbins takes his first warning, and my guy Hank starts trying to pick apart his strategy. The others don't see the vision, but he can tell that Captain America back there knows exactly what the hell he's doing. And so far, the dude's not even breaking a sweat. Eventually, they get to a bridge where that creepy dude Barkovich suddenly comes to a stop. He's saying that there's a rock in his boot and takes a hell of a long time to get it out, but he gets up before the soldiers send him off to go night-night. Buddy starts acting like it was all part of his plan, but the others say if that's true, then his plan f***ing sucks. And he storms off all mad to go walk it off by himself. Now they're 7 miles into the hike, with only one more to go before they get to Eminem's house, and the boys start talking about what they'd do with the money if they'd win. But my boy Ray here says that he's not just doing it for the Skrilla. He's here on some big fight the system type and starts breaking it down for the other guys so that they can peep game. Basically,
Oh yeah, they get unlimited money and they also get one wish. I forgot to say that. They get one wish that has to be granted, like a genie. Almost. Something that's like feasibly possible, but it has to be like just any wish, really. Like you could be like, I want to go to fucking Australia. I want to go this place.
they say the game is voluntary, but even though the losers
Yeah, you could ask for unlimited bacon.
get killed, everyone still signs up. So if things are so bad that this is their only way out, then they never really had a choice.
Somebody said unlimited women. That's funny that you say that, because this guy says that he wants 10 hot naked women, and all of the other guys go, you could just pay for that. And he's like, well, but then I know they wouldn't want to be with me. And they all go, well, if you wish for 10 hot naked women, somebody's paying the 10 hot naked women to come sleep with you. So, like, either way, they're getting paid to sleep with you. It's like... So they just start shitting on each other's wishes.
Voluntary, but even though the losers get killed, everyone still signs up. So if things are so bad that this is their only way out, then they never really had a choice in the first place. The others all agree that that is some real talk, which makes Ray here sound like some kind of Greek philosopher. But Pete still wants to get the cash so he can help his friends out back home. That's when this nerdy dude Harkness comes up from the back of the group and says he's decided to write a book about the whole experience. Typical nerds, always trying to make things into a homework assignment. But so far they haven't had any casualties until all of a sudden Malcolm in the middle here starts getting a cramp. And just like that, these boys are about to see their first body. Ray grabs the dude and tries to keep him up, but after a few seconds, Curly starts to crack, and there's nothing they can do to...
I think it was like they all tried helping him too, which was nice. But in the back of my head, dude, the whole time I'm sitting there thinking, if you are cramping out at mile 5, it's over. Even if you get past that cramp, if you have any problems in the first 50 miles, it's over.
Make him keep going. Terrified, he falls to the ground, begging for mercy, but the soldiers just walk up and one-tap him as soon as time runs out. And that makes
And what's fucking nuts is they don't do some Five Nights at Freddy's shit where, like, they shoot him and it's off camera. They show it. They show every single death. Like a guy, like head fucking exploding out of, oh my God. And it's just right fucking close up, the only thing in frame.
Walker down.
Dude, the most disgusting part, I don't know if he's going to mention it. It's like when you have to, like, 20 hours in, they're all like, dude, we got to take a shit. What do we do? Because pissing, they just turn around. Pete does it early on. He goes, I got to take a piss. So he starts walking backwards, pulls his pants down, and just starts peeing. And everybody has to disperse because they don't want to get pissed on. So, but taking a shit, it's hard because, like, you can't walk and poop. And then one guy gets, like, the shits. And that's bad.
With 49 more to go. All right, now that's some real traumatizing right there. And I'm not gonna lie, now that things are getting real, I'd be starting to regret my decisions about starting this in the first place.
Just poop in a bag. Zod. You got a bag. You're gonna be going. Three miles an hour. You're gonna be able to. 3 miles an hour, you're going to be able to walk fast enough and fucking take a shit in a bag. No way.
But Ray's over here talking about all this we didn't have a choice stuff. Like, buddy, you had to sign up for this voluntarily. That's literally the definition of a choice. But I get what he's saying, on paper or whatever. Ray didn't choose the thug life chose him. But maybe he should have spent less time reading books and more time
I don't think that's what he was saying. I think he was effectively saying that, like, the situation's so bad that you have the choice of signing up, but you would be an idiot not to.
And his money up. Because then he'd be home watching Curly get smoked from the comfort of his living room. Now, just because there's some hypothetical universe where I was dumb enough to sign up for this doesn't mean I'm dumb enough to stick around. And after 7 miles, I'm already gonna be tired as and reality is going to start setting in that I might not be built for this after all. And even with Curly down, I've still only got like a 2% chance of winning, so personally I'd rather take my chances and try to escape. But I'd just get blasted if I try to run, so I need to convince everyone to join me first. Basically, I'd just point out that they all have only a 2% chance of surviving as well, and then secretly make a plan to rush the soldiers.
This is the worst strategy I've ever heard. Hey, we all only have a 2% chance of surviving. Let's all just rush them, and we'll win. They can't kill all of us because then there's no winner. Oh, okay. One guy could just be like, yeah, no, I'm definitely down. Just don't run. Everybody else gets shot. You instant win. What?
The next time we have a good opportunity. I'm thinking we wait until it's nighttime and they're out in the middle of nowhere, and then we all work together to take down the guards. There's only about, 6 or 7 of these guys? And there's still 49 of us. And I'll be honest, our chances of winning the fight are pretty small, but...
Yeah, but they're not going to want to do that because the reason they're partaking in this isn't because they're trying to change the system. They just want money. And if they kill all the guards, they're just going to end up getting rushed by the militias that come for reinforcements.
They've got to be better than 2%, right? Now, if you trusted me, that was your biggest mistake. I mean, seriously, there's no way we could take those soldiers. Those guys have tanks. But once the chaos breaks out, I'ma just use everybody as a meat shield, dip into the forest, move to Canada, and change my name. And then I'm never walking more than 50 feet in any direction ever again. They've been walking for hours when Pete finally decides to empty the tank, but since he can't stop, he just turns around and let it rip straight at the other guys. Now they're on mile 17, and Ray tells Pete that he's feeling a little tired, but on the bright side, only 48 more people need to die before he gets to sit down. Pete's feeling it as well, but he tells Ray that the trick for getting through it is to just take things one moment at a time. After a while, they pass a little girl who came out to cheer for Ray like he's one of the damn Jonas Brothers. The others start making fun of him for it, but Pete decides that they should all be on some best friends forever type shit and try to get along instead. So that's how Ray, Pete, Hank, and Art became the Four Musketeers. But of course, Barkovich has to chime in with his little 2 cents just to let everyone know that he is still annoying. That's when Hank starts feeling like something's wrong with his leg, but then out of nowhere, Walker number 1 drops.
Yo, he just starts seizing out. Oh my God. Yo, like a heat stroke or something.
To the floor and starts having a seizure. But there ain't no nurse's office on this field trip, so they just blow his head off as soon as time runs out, and that makes 2 walkers down with 48 more to go. By now, they've been walking for 25 miles, and that's basically an entire-ass marathon, and they aren't stopping anytime soon. The boys start wondering if Barkovich still has his 3 warnings, but he chirps back that he's back down.
I was saying my strategy would be to, because it's like they're in the south, so it's pretty warm. So even at night, it's not that cold. And you could tell it's like either spring or summer. So I would probably, you would be more dehydrated, but I think I would walk with no pants on. So every time I needed to shit, I would just fucking shit, you know, like down my leg. It would be disgusting, but like I would never need to pull my pants down. I would just poop or piss. I would just walk straight, piss all over myself. Who cares? You know, just keep walking. Mosquitoes, don't care. Mosquitoes are the least of your problems.
To none, which is when Pete pulls out some kind of tin can full of raw deer meat, and it disgusts Hank so bad that his leg cramp starts coming back. They all start walking a little slower until it passes, but my boy Hank just keeps screwing it all up, and he drops the last little tube full of rations that was supposed to get him through the day. But Ray comes in clutch and gives Hank one of his, because that's just what the Musketeers do. Barkovich starts picking on this kid named Rank for his objectively stupid name, and he rage baits him with a bunch of yo mama jokes until he finally takes a swing. But Barkovich just keeps dodging him like Neo from The Matrix until
Yo, this part was actually kind of funny. Because Barkovich is just like, yo, your name's stupid as fuck. I bet your mom's a bitch. And Rank immediately crashes out, tries to punch him, warning 1, misses. Tries to punch him, warning 2, misses. Slides against the asphalt, fucks up his face, and then just eats shit and dies. It's like, everybody's like, Barkovich, you're a murderer. You're a murderer, Barkovich. And it's like, yeah, it's right that Barkovich did rage bait this guy into dying. But, like, I mean, the fact that Rank fell for that is, like, such a weak mentality.
He finally trips and ends up cheese grating his face on the pavement. The others already know what's about to happen, and when Rank can't get up, the soldiers just pull up and dome him right on the spot, making 3 walkers down with 47 more to go. Whoever let Rank sign up for the walk must have really hated Dude, because, I mean, come on, all it takes is one look at the guy to tell that he never stood a chance. I mean, at least...
Actually, though, like, I'm not trying to make fun of this guy as, like, an actor, but, like, they cast and made him perfect role, the clothing, the hairstyle. Bro, you could tell, looking at this guy, you're like, I know he's not winning. I know he's not winning.
He was skinny, but this ain't a trip to summer camp. You need a little bit of that killer instinct to get by, which Buddy here obviously did not have. Like, bro, I'm not about to let some dude named Gary Barkovich get in my head. So if he started trolling me, I'ma just ignore him and keep on walking, because why am I worried about this dude when there's a squad of guys with machine guns waiting to light me up? And you can tell homeboy here was an easy target from the way he reacted, because anybody who went to public school knows you never show a bully that it's getting to you. So nah, I would just block it out and use the thought of him getting body bagged as my motivation to keep.
Or if you, like, really didn't care, what I was saying is, like, if I was Rank and I really wanted Barkovich to die and I knew I was going to lose, just fucking put him in a full Nelson. You know? You could take somebody down with you. You would get a warning for impeding against somebody else, but the warning against the other person still stands. So, like, if I tackled Barkovich to the ground, we both die.
Going. And just...
You'd have to catch him. I would just tell him, if you keep fucking with me, I will kill us both.
Because you took a little spill doesn't mean you just give up. Like, rub some dirt in it and get back to walking, my boy. Because my legs would deadass have to be broken before I just sat there and let it happen. But I could actually use this to my advantage as well, because there's nothing in the rules against trolling other players, and even if some of these guys are more athletic, I know I've got them beat when it comes to talking shit. So now, I wouldn't want to get everyone mad at me first, because it's still good to have some friends so you can help each other out.
Yeah, you don't want to, like, you don't need to make friends, but you don't want to make enemies, because they could ruin your game.
But anyone from the outside of the friend group is fair game. So I'm gonna start looking for the easiest targets, figuring out what they're most insecure about, and then start trolling them non-stop for the rest of the game. And according to the rules, anyone who attacks another player gets a violation. So all I've got to do is get someone mad enough to take a swing, and I'll...
Bad play, bad play, bad play, bad play. Anybody who attacks another player gets a violation. All right, I made my spoon they gave me into a shiv, and I just stabbed you in the jugular. You're now bleeding out on the ground, and I have 1 warning. You rage baited me for 3 days. I'm kind of hallucinating because I'm on a lack of sleep, and I no longer care, and I just kill you.
I'll be one step...
Like, no weapons, Joe? They get... Dude, Zod. Spoiler. He'll say it. Barkovich, at one point, feels really bad about Rank dying and starts kind of tripping, and he knows he's going to lose, and he doesn't like that he has no friends. So he walks in front of the pack and kills himself in front of everybody. He goes, "You'll be with me forever," and then stabs himself in the jugular, and they all watch him die. They have no weapons, Zod. How did he stab himself? He made a shiv with a spoon, that happens in the movie.
Closer to winner, winner, chicken dinner. And I mean, sure, yeah, it's not the most honorable way to do it, but I'm not afraid to use dirty tactics if that's what I got to do to survive. And since there can only be one winner, I'm gonna make sure I do whatever it takes to get the advantage. The boys all start blaming Barkovich for what happened, even though he's trying to act like he didn't do anything wrong. But now he's easily the most hated guy in the game, and everyone else is just waiting to see him get smoked. Things calm down for a little bit until word starts going around that
what really fucks with Barkovich is Pete goes, "I don't care if I win, I just tell you that I'm living past you." Like something along those lines. Pete literally goes, he's like, at one point, there's like 8 of them left. And he says something, and he's like, "All right, well, like he mentions numbers, and he leaves out one, and it's Barkovich, because he mentioned like an hour prior, he was like, I don't care if I die, I'm just not dying before him."
Walker 45 has the Hershey squirts, and
this part's kind of funny though.
That's when my boy just drops his pants and starts letting it rip right there in the middle of the screen. And I mean, hey, what else are you gonna do here? There's no time to wipe unless he wants to get killed, but he can't hold off the chocolate thunder from down under, and they end up blowing his head off mid-dookie without a moment's hesitation, making 4 walkers down with 46 more to go. Now they're 35 miles in.
The fuck thing about that, too, is like, he poops like 5 times. And they go like, "Oh shit, look, he has the shits. It's bad." And he like smells really bad. He keeps pulling his pants down. Bro, just why are you wearing skinny jeans? Hey ma, we're going to the long walk today. I'm going to put on my fucking skinny jeans from Old Navy. What? Out of everything, bro, wear sweatpants. Sweatpants or jeans, loose baggy jeans. So ones that you could take off. Cargo pants, shorts. I don't know.
It's getting close to nighttime.
Some baggy shit.
Notices that Ray's got something on his mind, but he says that he'll tell him in the morning, so they've got something to look forward to. He breaks out some of these homemade cookies and starts dreaming about being back at home with his mom, but suddenly he wakes up a few hours later, and Pete says that he's been sleepwalking for miles. Everything seems to be going fine until Ray gets his second warning, and Barkovich starts chiming in with his usual bullshit. That's when Ray trips and gets warning number 3. But even though Pete helps him up, he starts cracking under the pressure and spazzing out on his own boys.
Yeah, bro, because he's got 3 warnings. If he fucking falls back again in the next 3 hours, he's dead.
Now it's time for their greatest challenge yet, a hill. And Stebbins says that they're about to start dropping like flies. The place
Yeah, he said, I think he said something along the lines of like, last year, 12 people died on this hill. Or like 15. He was like, more than half of the people left die here. Because it's like a fucking 300-meter stretch of just like a full incline.
Starts sounding like a Call of Duty match as anyone who slows down gets blasted, and Barkovich is still yapping the entire time. All Ray can do is lock in and ignore the rifle pointed straight at his face, but when he's about to give up, Pete grabs his arm and helps him push through. Ray apologizes for losing his cool, but Pete's already squashed the beef. And Art and Hank survived the climb too, so it looks like the Musketeers are still going strong. Only 18 of them.
Bro, in Art, it's this guy. Is his name Art? I don't know which one's Art.
Still going strong.
They usually refer to each other by like the people refer to them by their numbers. This guy chews a singular piece of gum the entire time. He's like, me and the gum got to make it together. Dude, that shit gets stale an hour in. You're 35 hours in chewing on the same piece of gum.
Hank survived the climb too, so it looks like the Musketeers.
Flavor's gone, dude. It would turn into a rock.
Tears are still going strong. Only 18 of them survive until the morning, and now they're 59 miles in, with every step getting harder and harder. Alright, now the fellas just survived their first night, and if I was able to make it through that, then I'd be starting to feel a lot more confident about my chances of winning this entire thing. But since we're down to only 18 survivors, I officially have a 5% chance of winning. And that's still not great, but it's better than nothing.
Not great, that's ass! That's ass. More than half of the people are dead, bro. You still got a fucking 1 in 20.
Right? And honestly, I gotta try to look on the bright side because after walking 60 fucking miles nonstop, I'm gonna be the most exhausted that I've ever been in my entire life. Like, I don't know if you fully realize this, but that's 2 marathons without stopping. So unless I gave myself an adamantium skeleton like Wolverine, my legs, knees, hips, ankles, hell, everything are gonna feel like they're on fire. And my feet are gonna be so covered in bloody blisters. So yeah,
you're gonna be bleeding like crazy. They're not mentioning that. Like, you're regardless of what shoes you're wearing, your feet are going to be so fucked.
When this is all over, I'm gonna need one hell of a spa day. So it's understandable why Ray crashed out on his boys, but honestly right now, that's the worst possible thing you could do. Now I know we're all in a competition here, but as soon as I saw that hill coming up, I would be making sure that I was best friends with everybody, because I'm gonna need somebody to help me if I start looking like I'm gonna go down. But here's the thing, the hill might be scary, but just like everything else, the right strategy makes this whole thing easy. And that's why you're gonna catch me at the back of the pack, because just like before, I'm letting the other—
That's why you're gonna catch me at the back of the pack. Just like the aerodynamics video that I showed you of the cow walking through the wind, I'm going to be getting a lot easier of a walk than the other people. They're going to be pushing through the wind that I'll be briskly gliding through.
other guys take the wind to make my life slightly—
Yo, it's not the wind. It's not the wind. Oh my God. The wind, bro, it's the fact that you're walking up a 45-degree incline fighting against gravity. It's not the air resistance that's fucking killing people. It's that you're walking for 24 hours straight. It's the middle of the night, it's fucking raining, and it's hilly.
easier, and then all I gotta do is get into a rhythm and power through. But what's scarier to me is the stuff that I can't control, like needing to sleep and go to the bathroom. Obviously, I would just try and stay awake and hold it in for as long as humanly possible, and that's probably gonna work for a day or two, but we need a backup plan just in case nature calls. You know, taking a shit is gonna be easy because, like, just let it rip as you keep on walking. I mean, it's completely disgusting, right? And embarrassing as hell, but it's better than getting capped while you're squeezing one out. So personally, I'm gonna be spreading it down the road like an old dog and just keep it pushing. But sleep though, that's gotta be the real challenge because eventually I'm gonna get tired. But this one's easy too if you've got the right strategies.
Yo, he's so in on aerodynamics. I'm just waiting for him to be like, and now that I think about it, I'd actually walk into the battle with a latex suit on to reduce my drag within the wind and make the walk even easier for me. I'm gonna nair every hair on my body. Nair every hair on my body, and I'm going to wear a slick morph suit.
So for me, I would just team up with a group of guys and work together so we could sleep one at a time. I'm not saying that we'll get the full—
Well, you don't really sleep. It's like this weird, you would be able to rest, but that's what it is. Like they kind of start sleepwalking. They have to carry each other kind of.
8 hours, probably like 30 seconds at best, but every little bit helps. And when this is all
You would micro sleep.
over, I'm gonna be laid up in the bed for a week.
What animals do that? There's animals that micro sleep.
Pete asks Ray if he thinks that he's gonna make it, but honestly, he's been having some doubts, and Pete admits that he gave up on winning a long time ago. He says
Ooh, yeah, he said at some point he's just gonna sit down.
That he wanted to believe that they wouldn't actually kill everyone because I guess he forgot that this is literally a death game. But now that reality came knocking, he doesn't think that he has what it takes to outlast the others. At mile 67, they come up on 2 kids on bikes who are about to witness something traumatizing. Everyone is feeling a little tense, and Hank's barely holding on, but that's when Harkness gets his first—
Yo, that motherfucker should have gave up miles ago. He breaks his foot walking up the hill like 8 hours prior. Breaks his foot. Fucking snaps. He's walking on a stub and his fucking foot is just hanging the other way, right? Like if this is his foot and he's walking like this, it's like his foot's to the side. He's walking on like the stub of his foot. And at some point he's like, I can't keep going. I'm like, yo, the second you broke your foot, you should have just sat down. Like you're not winning.
warning. He snapped the out of his ankle back on the hill, and he's been walking on the bloody stump ever since. But it looks like he's finally reached the end of the line. The dude starts crying as he realizes what's about to happen, and everyone else knows that he's already done for. So Art starts shouting at the kids to look away, but they just sit there and watch as the soldiers blow his head schmoove off. making 33 walkers down with 17 more to go. Pete and Ray didn't like watching the nerd get done dirty, but Stebbins and Barkovich both start mouthing off again, and the truth is only one of them gets to survive, so they better get comfortable watching people they like get smoked. And with that, they've officially made it 100 miles, which is when Art notices that
that's almost 4 marathons back to back.
Major still seems like he's not even tired, but Stebbins says the guy gets to sleep and take showers, so he's living the life of luxury while they're out there fighting to survive. Ray notices that Stebbins has a little cough, but he plays it off like it's just his allergies. But then all of a sudden, this one dude tries to dip out and make a run for it, but the soldiers light him up before he even makes it past the sidewalk, making 34 walkers down with 16 more to go. Oh my god. Alright, now I'm sorry, but this dude should have just dropped out at the beginning and saved everyone the trouble. Like, that was honestly the worst escape attempt that I've ever seen. And
I get him trying to escape in the city, but it's like, actually, best case, he should have just dipped at night into the woods when, like, there's low visibility and he would be able to, like, duck behind trees.
Could have at least given us a fucking heads up first, like, damn, maybe I wanted to escape. But now, they're all gonna be ready for it. But anyways, I don't know what the guy was thinking, but he obviously hasn't been playing enough COD, because otherwise he'd know that glass doesn't stop bullets. Well, unless it's bulletproof glass, but you know what I'm trying to say. Like, genuinely though, what was Bro's plan here? To run in a straight...
I think he should have darted behind the car. Maybe dodge a few of the bullets and then kind of bounce behind the building and just run.
Straight line and not even try to find cover. That door was probably locked anyway. So my man was clearly better at walking than coming up with ideas. But it got me thinking, how would I have done this? Well, honestly, at this point, I've already been walking for 100 miles, so my legs aren't exactly feeling fresh. And with only 16 players left, I'd have to be pretty dumb to even try. I mean, these guys literally have machine guns and tanks, so what the hell am I even supposed to do here? But maybe, just maybe, there's a way that we could pull it off. Now, if you want to do this successfully, the backup plan has to start before you even entered the game. So I'm gonna get one of my boys from the outside to make a signal, like a certain wave or a little dance I could hit to let them know that it's time. Then I would tell them to check the TV every hour, and if they see me hitting the Dougie, it'll be their sign to meet me a few miles up the road. But as for me, I would wait until it was...
What, you're gonna get in a getaway car? Bro, they're in military vehicles. They're gonna fucking blow you up.
It's nighttime and we were out in the middle of nowhere, and then wait for a good distraction, like one of the other players getting popped. Then
there is also restrictions. Like, they close these roads off. There's people that are allowed to, like, spectate on the side, but, like, you wouldn't be able to just, like, pull up in a car.
I would just dip out as fast as I could into the woods and use the nature around me for cover, ducking behind trees and rocks and shit until I was able to lose the soldiers, make it to the getaway car, and get the hell up out of there. But to be honest, I'm probably not even making it more than 10 feet, even with the best plan that I could think of. So right now, it's probably better to just stick around and try to actually win this thing. By mile 103, they start...
Where's this taking place? I think it's in, like, Arkansas or somewhere. It's, like, somewhere in the South.
They're talking about what they would wish for if they win. Ray says you're supposed to wish for something that money can't buy. And when it's Pete's turn, he says that he's gonna wish for the walk to have 2 winners. That way, not everybody has to get capped. Now they want to know what Ray would wish for, but he decides that he doesn't want to jinx it by saying it out loud, so all he'll say is that he wants his wish to change the world. They make it through the night without...
No, and I think he says he would tell Ray, like, the next day. And he said he would spoiler, I mean, if you're this far in, you don't really care about spoilers. He says he would wish for a carbine, and they would have to give it to him on the spot, and he would shoot the major in the head. And they wouldn't kill him because you're the winner and everybody cares about... That'd be like you killing the Hunger Games winner. Like, people would be pissed.
At mile 144, it's pretty obvious that Stebbins, yeah, he ain't doing so well. Things get pretty tense when Art has to pull over for a quick dookie, but he's able to get it out before he catches one to the face. Now that they're alone, Pete asks Ray about that wish again, but he says that he'll only tell him if he keeps it a secret. It turns out that his dad used to show him all kinds of stuff that the government didn't like, but one night, 12 kicked in the door, waving the 4-4, and dragged Pops out into the street. They gave him one last chance to be a good NPC, but my boy decided to stand his ground, so they blew his face off right there on the spot. That's why Ray decided to join the walk, because if he wins, he's gonna wish for a rifle and use it to slime the Major live on TV. Pete starts pointing out some flaws in his plan, like how his dad would still be around if he just lied, and he doesn't think that Ray actually has what it takes to kill someone. He thinks it's more important to actually appreciate their lives instead of going around looking for revenge. But Ray is convinced
this movie is so fucking peak, bro.
that his only choice is to slide for his old man. They pass a family of rednecks watching from the side of the road, and Ray says that they're only here to watch somebody get murked. But Pete reminds him that they all live in the same messed up country, and if Ray doesn't believe that there's still good in the world, then there's no reason even trying to win. Up ahead, they see a rainbow in the distance, and this makes old Pete start feeling a little emotional, so he grabs Ray by the shoulder.
Yo, I remember rewatching this scene because it was supposed to be an emotional scene about the rainbow, and all I could focus on was this kid looking like he just shit his pants in the front.
Up ahead, they see a rainbow in the distance, and this makes old Pete start feeling a little
fucking like hobbling.
So he grabs Ray by the shoulder and decides that they should be more than just friends. By now, they're pretty much brothers, but in the end, somebody's got to be an only child.
Okay.
Ooh, that's cold.
Okay, well, now I understand why Ray was dumb enough to sign up, because his dad was a total idiot as well. So I hate to say it, but Ray's entire family has f***ed up here. I mean, we all break the rules sometimes, you know?
Yo, this guy is fucking... He's like, I don't care about the emotional shit. Yo, this family's fucking stupid. Ray signed up like a dumbass because his dad's a dumbass.
But when you're a grown man with a wife and kid, you gotta be a little more careful. If there's one thing you don't want to mess with, it's the government. Especially when you live in some kind of 1984 world where you could just get smoked for just owning a book. Being a rebel is all fun and games until a legit military death squad kicks your door down. And at least for me, I would have immediately started acting like the most patriotic American that these guys have ever seen. But I don't think you're really hearing me. I'm saying I would have turned into Stan Smith the moment these fuckers showed up. No troublemakers here, sir. Just three people who love the good old red, white, and blue. Because honestly, how hard is it to just lie? And then as soon as they were gone, I'd just go right back to doing my OG shit. But since Dad had to go fight the system, that gave Ray this bright idea to go follow in his footsteps, and look how that turned out. He could be back at home watching this all on TV, but now he'll be lucky just to survive. So sorry, Ray, but you and your daddy done f***ed up.
By mile 170, the boys are barely holding on, and Walker number 4's feet are starting to look like ground beef. When he can't handle the pain, he tries going up to a tank for some help, but the soldiers just run his freaking legs over and
oh my god, I forgot about this shit. Yo, like he goes up to the tank for help. I thought they would just kick him off, bro. They just run him over.
Blast him in the head. Just 2 seconds later, this dude Tressler starts ripping off his clothes like he's about to turn into a werewolf. But the second he hits the side of the road, the soldiers just mow him down, making 36 walkers down with 14 more to go. By mile 201, another 7 walkers have gone down, leaving only 7 still in the game. It's nighttime again, and Ray is still holding on, but it looks like Hank could be the next to go. Stebbins chimes in that he looks ready to give up, so Ray goes over to...
Nah, bro. Yo. Chat, I know we're watching the whole film's, like, summary right now. It is so much more, like, gritty right here. Stebbins, because you're watching this, you're, like, an hour and a half into the film. You know all these characters. Stebbins walks in. He goes, hey, Ray, you exhausted? And Ray's like, yeah, I'm pretty exhausted. He goes, you're not exhausted. He goes, look at Hank. Hank can't even speak. He starts like, and then it zooms in on Hank. Hank hasn't spoken in like 30 minutes in the show or in the movie, which is like days. Like Hank hasn't spoken in a day. He's barely walking. He like lost his tooth. He's fucking losing his mind.
Check on his man, but the dude is completely out of it. And after dropping some quick philosophical bars, he runs up to one of the tanks and grabs somebody's rifle. But they blast him and let him bleed out to set an example for the others. Art can't handle watching his buddy suffer, so Ray has to come pull him off before they both get killed. But there's nothing they can do besides keep going, so that makes 44 walkers down, with only 6 more to go. They make it another few miles before anyone's ready to talk again, and to make things even worse, this guy Collie tells everyone that Hank actually had a wife. That makes him the only married man in the entire group, and he can't believe the dude would risk it when he had somebody like that back at home. Pete decides they should all promise to give some money to Hank's wife if they survive, and even Stebbins finally agrees. It turns out he was actually getting sick after all, but he still thinks that there's a chance that he can win. Now at this point you might have forgotten that crazy old Barkovich Barkovich is still alive, and he's personally offended that Pete didn't ask him to join the club, so he goes up to Ray and starts trying to apologize.
Yo, and this is like some fucking psycho. Dude, it feels like a Joker scene. Oh, it's the most replayed scene. This feels like a Joker scene, bro. He grabs Ray and he's like, I gotta be part of the friend group, right? Like, you guys hate me, but like, I didn't mean to make fun of that rank kid like 3 days ago. It's like, it's not my fault that he's dead. Like, he's fucking like sitting doing like, it's like a 10-minute scene too. He's like right next to his face, like whispering in his ear. It's so creepy. And the whole time I'm like, I'd be worried he would stab me.
But the more this guy talks, the more it's obvious why he doesn't have any friends. I mean, he's nuttier than a squirrel fart on a winter's day, and says that he can't keep the voices out of his head, so Ray just tries playing it cool so the dude doesn't snap. He's finally able to get rid of him without the guy doing anything crazy, but just when it seems like he's...
Yeah, no, and the whole time, dude, Pete's 3 feet away. Barkovich is going, can you ask Pete if I could be a part of the friend group? Like some fucking second grader shit. And Ray goes, yeah, man, I'll ask him. And he walks like 2 feet over to Pete, and he goes, Barkovich wants to be a part of the friend group. The whole time Pete fucking hears what they're talking about. It's like so weird.
Finally starting to get it together, he walks straight to the front of the group and decides to quit the competition early, making 40...
Yo, quit the competition early, bro. He fucking cuts his neck open in front of all of them. And he says some weird-ass shit. He's like, I'll be with you guys forever.
5 walkers down.
Just traumatizes all of them.
With only 5 more to go.
All right, now I might be wrong for saying this, but at least they don't have to deal with that guy anymore. We're officially down to the last 5 walkers, which means that we now all have a 20% chance of winning. But as you can see, more and more of these dudes is starting to crack. Now, we all knew that Barkovich was crazy from the beginning, but you're probably wondering what happened with Captain Underpants over here. Well, I'll tell you. It's called paradoxal undressing. And basically, it's what happens when somebody goes cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. They just rip off all their clothes and start running around like a crazy person. So yeah, walking nonstop for almost 200 miles will do that to you. And now we're not just talking about the physical challenge of walking anymore, because the mental side of things is going to be just as hard. So I'd need to make sure that I don't end up going nuts this close to the finish line. But actually, it's really not that hard as you might think. So what I'm gonna do now is start picking something up ahead, like a tree or a sign, and just stay focused on getting there. Then keep repeating that process one little bit at a time. And this is when I'm gonna start blocking everything out. So if one of these guys gets capped, no they didn't. They just went on an all-inclusive vacation to Aruba. And as a matter of fact, that's where I am too. You see? Now
so you would purposefully make yourself insane and ignore them? Like, I think it's easier said than done. Because the connections you would build in this game would be so rapid. Like, Pete and Ray basically go from strangers to best friends in 3 days. Because you're just you're like both, you're trauma bonded. You know, like you're both experiencing something that's fucking insane. And you already are friendly with each other. It's
now
like,
I can't get tired because...
You couldn't just ignore that.
In my head, I'm already at the beach just kicking back and chilling. And if I just refuse to accept reality, then the other players, yeah, they ain't gonna stand a chance.
At mile 260, they pass
10 marathons, back to back 10 marathons.
by a flaming car crashed on the side of the road. Kali decides this moment calls for a sing-along, and they all start singing "Oh My Darling Clementine" in honor of Hank's wife. Now it's sunrise on day number 5, and they're getting close to the town where Ray's family lives. Kali says he's lucky for getting to see his mom, and he's pissed that he won't get the same chance again before he dies. But Pete thinks that seeing her is only going to make things worse. At mile 286, they finally make it to Freeport, but Ray's boots fall apart as soon as he gets to town, so he has to ditch them and start walking in his soggy socks. Which is when he turns to see his mother watching from the side of the road. It's a heartbreaking moment, but instead of passing her,
Oh
Ray
my god, this scene made me cry, bro.
turns around and starts saying that he's sorry until Pete finally comes to pull him back. He's having a full-blown panic attack about having to leave her, so Pete starts telling him a story about his childhood. He says his parents both died in the war, so he had to go live with his drunk of an uncle. But then he died from drinking too much, so he fell in with a group of bad dudes and turned to a life of crime. One day he got into a scrap with a dude who sliced him up, and that's how he got his scars. But when he woke up in the hospital, he realized that it was time to turn his life around, which is why he always looks at things from the bright side. But he says it takes a lot of work not to go.
Pete saved him. Pete saves Ray like 10 times. in the film.
Back to his old ways. So he wants to use his prize money to help out other struggling kids. And if Ray wins, Pete says that he needs to give up on revenge and go back to his mom because he deserves to have a second chance instead of throwing it away. At mile 306, Stebbins decides it's time for—
Like, that is an unreal distance, bro. What is 300 miles? What's like distance from Pittsburgh? What's like a known thing? Like, what's Philly to New York? Philly to New York is only 94 miles. Okay, Philly to Boston. Philly to Boston. Philly to Boston distance. 306 miles. That is the exact distance that they're... So, if you could walk from Pennsylvania through New Jersey, through New York, through all of Connecticut, and through half of Massachusetts, and that's the distance they've walked. A 5-hour nonstop drive.
For a new deal. He says they need to stop helping each other and let nature take its course. And even though Pete doesn't like it, Ray agrees that he's probably right. The only one who hasn't said anything is Collie, and out of nowhere he rushes for a rifle and takes down one of the soldiers. They instantly shoot him in the gut, but he decides to quit the game before they can finish the job, and that makes 46 walkers down, with only 4 more to go.
All right, now we're down to the final 4, and I don't know who Stebbins thinks he is making demands over here, but he's clearly on death's door, and the boys have him outnumbered 3-1. So, honestly, why the hell would they listen to this guy? Of course, he wants them to stop working together because he knows it's the only chance he has of surviving until the end, but honestly, he's in no position to be calling the shots. So if it were me, I would try making him a deal. Think about it this way, right? Stebbins is getting sick.
I don't know, man. I feel like you could just rip a warning. Like, I think if I fucking dead-legged Stebbins here, he is fucked. Like, you get one warning for punching someone. If I walked up to Stebbins and I just fucking roundhouse him right in the kneecap, I think he is fucking instantly folding and he's not getting up. Like, I have a warning now. I'll walk for an hour straight. You know, if he's dead.
So he doesn't have that much longer, but he's also got a fresh pair of sneaks that he'll probably never use. And Ray isn't going to make it much farther on his bare feet, so if I were Ray, I would agree that it's every man for himself, but only if Stebbins lets me have the shoes. Then it's actually a fair competition. And if he disagrees,
he would never agree with that. Then it would just be like, all right, let's keep walking.
I'll just keep working with the boys and take the shoes once he drops out.
At this point, they've been going for 324 miles, and now Art's nose is starting to bleed like a garden hose. Stebbins says that it's probably internal bleeding, and the other guys try to keep him up, but Art eventually cannot go on any longer, and tells Pete that he should be proud for coming all this way. The boys say their goodbyes, and Art makes them promise to give his necklace to his grandmother, but now it's time for the 3 musketeers to become the 2, and the boys keep walking on as the soldiers take him out, making 47 down with only 3 more to go. At mile 326,
y'all gotta watch this movie. I don't care if you know the fucking ending, bro. It's so sad actually watching like that versus like hearing what happens versus actually seeing it. He literally goes, "You guys gotta promise me you won't look," and he's like, "You gotta promise me you won't look," and then they're like, "Okay." And then he fucking just walks and sits, and you see it in the back, but they're just like, they literally just go, and they hear the gunshot.
Major's still piping up with his motivational speakers. Ray starts cursing him out, but the dude's still treating it like a game show. And that's when Stebbins decides that it's time to reveal his secret. He starts comparing himself to the rabbit in a dog race, saying he's supposed to be like a machine that the other guys couldn't catch. It turns out the Major is actually this guy's dad, and he's got dozens of unwanted kids spread out all over the country. So Stebbins...
Yeah, he's like a bastard child. Stebbins is the Major's kid, but the Major, he thought the Major didn't know that he was his kid, but then he ends up saying like, oh, the Major knew the whole time. And what gives it away at the very start of the movie is he just calls your number and gives you your dog tag, and the only guy the Major says good luck to is Stebbins. The only guy. At least that's how I saw it. I would have to rewatch it to double check. But I remember in the beginning of the movie, I was watching it with Brooke. I was like, that's weird. The Major said good luck to only Stebbins. Like, out of everybody.
wish was just for the guy to like finally treat him like a son, but now he can feel his body giving out. So instead of dying like a wild animal, he decides
body giving out, bro. He says, I remember he said, I feel my lungs filling with liquid. I'm gonna die.
To go out with some dignity. Before he goes, he warns the boys what to expect when they reach the finish line, but that's when he stops and takes his final warning, and the soldiers blow.
He says there's gonna be, he said there's spectators at the end. They want to see the last kill. He said just keep walking. He said it's gonna rain tonight or some shit. I love the rain. And then he just said, fucking do it. And then they kill him.
Away as soon as his time is up, making 48 down with only 2 more to go. They've gone 331 miles when they hit their first big crowd, and these sickos actually start cheering them on. But as Pete looks over at Ray, he decides that he's ready to stop. All of a sudden, he drops back down and takes a knee, but Ray isn't ready to let him go, so he picks up his friend and starts pushing him down the road. He asks Pete to walk just a little bit farther, so he decides to hang in there for his friend, but while he's distracted, Ray stops and let his timer run out. The soldiers instantly shoot him twice in the side, and Pete rushes to pick him up, but Ray tells him that he loves him as the soldiers drag him away. Knowing that he's done for, Ray apologizes to his mom as the major steps up to finish him off, and that makes 49 down with 1 lucky winner.
And they show it, bro. They show it. That's what's like. You would think that they would do the monologue and then it would be like the gunshot and it would just be on Pete. No, they show him die.
But Pete's story is not over.
Because it like makes you feel like you're Pete.
Yeah, the guy starts breaking down as the fireworks go off and the entire crowd starts to celebrate, but that's when the major comes to ask for his wish, and thinking it over, he wishes for a soldier's rifle. The major lets it happen, thinking there's no way he's actually gonna—
you knew he was gonna ask for it too, because earlier he was like, man, the rifle ain't gonna fix anything. And then the major interrupts Pete crying and he's like, what's your wish?
Shoot somebody, but the second he gets his hands on it, he ups the weapon and blasts the major straight in the chest, killing him right on the spot. With his wish fulfilled, Pete turns to walk down the empty street, leaving the crowd behind him. In the end, that makes 50 down.
No, that is not the ending. Everybody disappears. He doesn't leave the crowd. The ending's supposed to be that he has to continue walking because killing the major didn't actually solve anything. Because the dystopia is still going to exist. So you still have to keep walking because the long walk will still exist. It will still occur. There were people around him, and that's just not what— he didn't leave everybody.
With only 1 survivor, and at least Pete managed to get some revenge for his friend, but I'm thinking next time he might just want to stay home instead.
The Long Walk, and I mean—
fucking peak movie, bro. We didn't really get into how to beat it. Outside of aerodynamics. Bro, the strategy really is have a backpack full of useful items, have good shoes, have a plan for everything. Don't run. You're never going to be able to run. You're going to die. Don't sign up. If you do sign up now, you just got to plan everything out. Maybe make some friends, but don't get too attached to them. And then don't be the guy to self-sacrifice and be a hero. Don't be the hero, right, in that situation. Be the guy that just wins. Count me down. God of War would be epic. I wouldn't have God of War. If you have any